Hello, everyone. So while we wait for that, I'm sure we're very clear with a lot of things that have been going on as regards the country. So we are always caught up in that half parameter, which we believe some things happen and some things happen because maybe we feel Nigeria is a country nobody has ever been within or handled properly, or anybody is left to this party, is left to that. There's so much quagmires in the cultural thought process in which we have for generally elections. So moving forward, slides are here. So would like to proceed without much ado, the myths and realities of politics in Nigeria. And I'd like to have the next slide, please, if that is fine. Okay. So a basic introduction. Of course, we know what myths are. Myths are, of course, those things that, have become culture or make believe, but are not necessarily true about politics in Nigeria, or generally. And then realities are those which, of course, are prevalently true, and we have probably not even milked or even decided to go through the system and find out if they are as the way they are supposed to be. So there are key indices, of course, to myths and realities in Nigeria. And the basic indices for the kind of myths and realities that we have in Nigeria are first, of course, poor political literacy. Now, most people would assume poor political literacy. I love when the middle class tries to discuss politics and they always say, no, it's the grassroots. The grassroots don't know what's up. I'll surprise you. The grassroots is more conversant with politics than the average university degree holder, which I know averagely, if you put them toe for toe, one for one, you'd have more people in the grassroots that understand the system of politics, understand what goes on within politics than those within the middle class. And this is because of the general belief that the middle class believes that, and not the elite, the middle class especially. And the middle class in politics, as I've defined, is not people that have a particular percentage of money. It's people that have a particular percentage of education to be able to decipher the difference. So poor political literacy, the same way most people think you need 2 billion to run for this thing. Money is a key factor in politics, but it's not everything. There are also defects in the fourth estate, and the fourth estate, which we've defined, of course, which you've learned, which I will do a bit on here, is the press. And you have a situation where the press itself tends to say funny things. Like recently, I had to defend a position, and it was INEC says there are only 1,400,000 or something voters in Nigeria. INEC never said that. The issue was simply that of the 2-point-something million registered recently, 1.4 million were valid registrations to and had valid PVCs, or were given valid PVCs by INEC. And that was what INEC said. But newspapers, there were news blogs and a lot of people that carried it and said a lot of funny things, which, and carried funny, this only. And when that was the headline, you open it up, you find out there was totally a whole different ballgame and a whole different perspective to it. And then it begs to ask the prevailing question. Now, these headlines in the thirst for headlines, or so-called bloggers in the thirst for clicks, do they circumvent democracy in trying to sell papers? That's a question we need to ask ourselves. But let's continue with it. And then emotional response to issues. So most of the time you want to discuss an issue in politics, and then you have people saying, I'm marginalized. I keep saying this. The entire Nigeria is marginalized. The 256 ethnic groups are marginalized. But most people would not want to play on this parameter. Most of the time they find and say, okay, this is not how we do it. This is this. Or the culture has always been this. We always have an emotional response. And then, imagine if we have like those are our godfathers, mommy Jews and daddy Jews that we have on social media. Once they say something, we do not query whether it's legal, it's constitutional, or it's something that we're even supposed to look at. What we jump at immediately is, of course, my daddy Jew on social media said it, and we jump into everything and start saying funny things. And this is why most of the time we do not have credible or things that we've come up with personally as individuals. So you can almost tell the mind, like if somebody likes somebody on Facebook or Twitter, I'm able to tell what kind of thought process you have. And it's a very bad thing. It's a very, very sad thing. Sometimes we are happy when someone from our local government or our state is being released from prison, even though he did a lot of things. It's just that one of us has been released, or that kind of thought process, and we just think that's good. Do you understand? Regardless of its effect or negative narrative to the country, we just feel, okay, that's good, this good, that's good. And you have those kind of problems. So our emotional response to issues affects the fact that we can view politics or we can view strategic thought processes properly. I'd like to say even our emotional responses are one of those that didn't make EndSARS a successful outcome. And most people want to argue here that EndSARS was successful. I'd rather not enter that engagement. But did it prove well that we could organize? Yes. Did it prove well that we could stand for something? Yes. But when you can't engage a system you don't understand, and I've multiply said this, and if you want to engage the system, you better understand where the system is going to get you back at. So you can imagine you were called into a so-called sit out on EndSARS, which they call the cross panels, and then same person who is the defendant in the issue is also the jury in the issue. So I don't understand what they were calling you to do. It was never going to end properly, and we should learn to understand those kind of things. But anyway, that's talk for another day. A poor understanding of the system and constitution, which is of course what I mentioned in passing, which is as long as we do not understand the system, we would not be able to engage it. Then we also have this culture of slavery from the military rule. Now, most of us like to think that this does not exist with us, but it actually does. The thing is, it's been embedded into our parents' minds, and we've transmitted that same parameter. And for those of us that lived during the time, of course, it has affected our own thought process, and of course, come across our ideas. And we still feel change when we are free. And it's kind of hard. Like I think when they train horses, if you want to keep them in one particular place, when they're foals, they just keep them and they kind of tie them to a tree, and then wait till they're like 2 years old, and then they release the ropes, and the horse remains within that jurisdiction, not knowing it can move because there's been chained in its mind from the beginning. And that's how we are from military rule. I just pray we get out of it one of these days. Could I have next slide, Lisa? Thank you. So there are common myths. The first major myth is political parties. Now, as regards political parties, there are so many myths. I don't know where to start from. Most people view political parties like a cult. They feel that if you join a political party, you will not rise. They feel that political parties are the bane of our problems. They feel that political party X is better than political party Y after 16 years. Political party X has only had 8 years and they can't, all this crap and rubbish. First and foremost, I need to make this clear. No political party is perfect. During my time and my work with the Electoral College, we navigate and crisscross conversations with a lot of political parties, and we deal with a lot of things. And these things that we deal with are things that generally and enable us to understand the ongoings of every internal structure of a political party. And I'll tell you, averagely, they are basically the same in operations. What happens is that what differs them is some have a few more smart men, and a few more smart men are not enough to change the system. So till we are all part of the system, it probably wouldn't go anywhere. But political parties actually are being and paying for quite a lot of things. Now, the next one will be PVC drive will improve electoral outcomes. Now, if you take statistics in Nigeria generally from the beginning, that's 1999, I like to call that the beginning of the present fourth democracy we're under right now. So you'd ask yourself a question from 2020, give or take, I think let's just say from 99 we had less than 50%, but from 2007 till 2015, we've had over 50% participation in elections. How has that turned out? How has it benefited for Nigeria? How has it moved us forward? But the real question is, if we keep putting PVCs in the hands of people that are not politically educated or literate, they will make worse decisions than we ever could make. Now, 2023 for me is one of the most scariest elections because we have age under 40 being higher than any other voting population. Now, this will mean that I don't want to say this, and this is not, no offense to Davido, but this means that if Davido just starts shouting and singing a song, he probably could win an election. And that's most scary for a country. So I agree PVCs are good, but Nigeria has never really had a PVC problem. I always stated from 2019, we had 73 million PVC holders, and as of election day, only 28 million participated. That's a missing close to 50 million, not up to about 46 million. Where were they? That's the question to ask. So PVC drive, as much as it's hurtful to say, I know that most people don't want to believe it and most people don't want to accept it. It's never really going to alter the way elections is going to go, and you can mark my word post 2023. The president is everything. Now, the president is not everything. Nobody's totally even concerned with the legislature. We've made it clear that the foundation of democracy is the legislature. If you go back to ancient Greece, it was based on legislature, and I've drawn a parameter within politics and stated that it was when people were trying to get introduced, when Greece was trying to introduce democracy, they found out people were in love with the monarchy. And of course, somewhere along the line, there was a created office for a democratic president. It was based on legislature. Now in Nigeria, we do not care what our state house assembly does. We do not care what our councillors do, what our local government chairman do. Nothing. Everything is Baba Buhari, Baba Buhari, Baba Buhari. This is not to say he doesn't have his issues, but this is to say you can't blame the whole buck on him. And that's the truth. As much as you don't want to accept it, that is, of course, our emotional response to things. We will always forget. I will tell you that state governors are more culpable for the problems that face you than the president even is close to even coming to you. So you have state governors doing a whole lot of things, and nobody even cares. I, as my state governor, it's my town person, it's my LG, it's my constituency, really a war cost. You have states that go as far as having more than 7,000 aides, and you think this is normal. I keep asking the question that where in do you have 7,000 aides? What are you paying them with? You know, you have states that have dragged themselves into a particular quagmire. And you know what, let's not go into the governor's matter because we're going to really go and hit everything. Now, politics is money. Now, this is not also true. Strategy and influence play a lot more in politics than money. Yes, money is needed. I'm not saying money is not part of the ingredients. So money is like salt of the soup. But you have a lot of other things basically running for you. Influence, character, we discussed all of this, strategy, planned outcome you get, and where things are headed. Politics doesn't affect me. Now, this is the theme of Nigeria's problems. We assume that as we are, we will never get where we will never be bothered about it. So I'll kind of look at it this way. Oh, I kind of work for Shell, I'm kind of cool, I have a lot of money. Politics doesn't affect me. It's not my business. It has to do with this. I can't handle this. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not really. You've forgotten your kids go to school with the people that government affects. You've forgotten that when you go out at night, probably have a drink or do remember with your friends. You're going to be hanging out with people that politics affects. Anything can happen. Your car could be stolen. You could be robbed. You could be kidnapped. You could be shot. Politics is everything, and I don't know how people don't get that part. And I think that's where we drummed, but it seems to be falling on deaf ears. Now, the LG is powerless. LG has been granted autonomy. To the LG take their autonomy serious? No. They, of course, have been, like I said, they've been wired to think that they have to give the governor money. And that's because none of us has taken a step and said, you know what, let's sue the local government chairman because they don't have immunity. If you sue one of them and he goes to jail, the rest will realize they're not supposed to give their money to the governor. But till then, LG is a lot stronger than we think it is. We're totally nowhere near what is going on as should be going on. So the LG is not powerless. The constitution is useless. Now, this comes from people that have totally nothing to do, haven't read, don't understand the constitution. Like I always make clear, do you think the constitution is going to stand up and hit you on the head and tell you how it's supposed to run? Implementation of the constitution is necessary, and we have a lackadaisical National Assembly, State House of Assembly who have not also looked at it. So you find a situation where if you read the average poster now for someone running for legislative office, you see so many executive things give you. I've told you, I haven't gone as far as seeing someone place zero hunger on this. on his legislative poster. And those are the kind of issues we have right now. Now, a lot of myths also are controlled by CSOs and social media ideas. There are a lot of CSOs. I keep saying, and I tell people, if a CSO is on governance, I don't say people should not come up with CSOs, but there are so many in the democratic space. There are people that don't even understand, or people that work within these CSOs do not basically understand the way politics runs. And, I cited examples of sitting down top CSOs, and you're talking about things, and the people that believe political parties are registered in CAC. There are people that believe that when you buy a form, you are automatically called a candidate. Really, as in, and this is for me, this is the biggest problem, because it kind of brings in what we are not supposed to have, and then tries to give us a problem with what is going on and what a lot of other funny things. Social media ideas too are a problem, and they just tend to, if somebody says this, Ren or Mokri says this one says this, that one says this, and this is the way it should go. Shegun said this one. It's a whole quagmire of the way things are actually supposed to be. Then a vote for a small party is a waste of your votes. Now, I don't want to hit too much on this particular point, but I'm going to state something. So if a vote for a small party is a waste for your vote, why do the big parties, or why do political parties, let me not blame the big parties on this. So why do political parties try to get boys to scatter polling units or cause havoc or try to buy votes? If a small party, a vote for a small party was a waste of a vote. That is kind of a hypocrisy, don't you think? So that particular message is being sold to you and sold to your mind. We discuss psychology of politics, and when you tell somebody what the eyes see and the ears hear long enough, the mind believes, and we're trying to undo that totally. So we have next slide. Now, reality is no seat belongs to a political party. Every seat, of course, is sworn to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So as much as this is practice, that you see a party flag behind someone who's sitting down in a position, the truth is no seat belongs to a political party. Yes, political parties are vehicles to the seat, but no seat actually belongs to a political party. Yes, they have those positions, or they get to those positions, but you're sworn to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and not a political party. And therein lies a massive difference. Votes count. Now, I cannot tell you more than this. It's when you go to vote, your PVC cannot be used for something illegal. It's when you go to vote, you can stand and defend your vote. This cannot be told the most. Most people say, no, I don't know vote. There are a lot of people are going to get within stuff, and I don't want to mess my cool self. I have to look good for the gram, according to some people, but you're looking good for the gram in which country? Soon there won't be a country for you to look good for the gram in. So you need to have a situation where you understand the simple parameter that your votes count. And the more we participate in voting, the more we can directly influence what happens within our community. So aspirants or elected officials, now these are the culprits. Now, most aspirants or elected officials do not understand the jurisdictions of the office they are vying for. And this is painful because it clearly shows that, not because I stated something somewhere, and a lot of people found it funny, but it was from my experience. So I stated that the only difference between old politicians and some young politicians is that some can use Instagram Live. And most people thought it was a joke and they're laughing, but the truth is, when you push it down, ask someone, okay, you are young, apart from you are young, you want to get into the office, what exactly do you want to do? And the person will start telling you, I want to represent my people. And yes, we know that the office is representative. Okay, then, and then my people need someone like me, someone like you for what? Nothing. And you can try this across board. And, I've had young people come and say, okay, Kuni, I'm running for something in Abuja. You have quite the parameter in Abuja. You have strength. You have quite a muscle. You've gone there before. And I ask the question, okay, I'm running for councillor. What do you want to do? I want to represent my people. Okay, that's good. That's what everybody says. Okay, what next? Nothing else. Nothing. Totally nothing else. So what's the person going to go and do there? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. What exactly is the person going to go and do there? We need to get off this high horse of assuming most people understand. I look at most presidential candidates today, and I really don't see a difference. And this might sound harsh, but I really don't see a difference. Everybody's singing the same song. They just have a political verse, and then you just talk about it. And the truth is, when you come down to the nitty gritty, you don't have anything to offer really. They don't have anything to say. They just find themselves within a parameter in which they don't understand. So they are, hey, say honorable, 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 distinguished, His Excellency, incoming that doesn't know anything. What is incoming to do? Incoming to cause more problems. That's how you carry our subsidy from 4 trillion, which it is now, to 7 trillion, because he wants to buy a house in Monaco. No, thank you. So we also will go to strategy does not win an election, which no. I think what I was meant to write here is strategy does not win election. So strategy does win election, and I'd explain. Okay, strategy does win election. Sorry, I don't know. I think because I'm talking, I read it wrong. So strategy does win election, and that's the truth. So I'll give an example. I think I've given this example before, but let me find another example. So we've played around parameters and working within consulting with aspirants and doing a lot of things. And sometimes playing against the game of what it is and drawing a whole better perspective to how things could be would help improve the way things could turn out for an aspirant. So we've had aspirants that seem to have no chance 4 or 5 months ago, but right now in their parties, they're probably ones that are going to be picked in the primaries. And this is because the strategy employed was to play against the system. So, an aspirant that was already doing things that, people within normal parameters didn't think of or didn't play around. Most people say, no, I only talk to the delegates in Yoruba land. I only deal with the delegates that are Yoruba. There are Hausa delegates in Yoruba land now, so as there are Igbo delegates. So if you capture those ones, you already would have quite a minority that cannot be divided. Now you have to deal with those ones who already have their prevailing interests based on indigenous local governments they come from. And when you play across that parameter, you'll be highly surprised how much you can achieve and how much you can get. Change involves all of us, and this is the reality. So not all of us will run for office. Not all of us will be party delegates. Not all of us will be, but you must be doing something. Now, it's easy for us to say, hey, I'm behind you, I'm behind you. Let me ask, who here has given 1K to one presidential we shouldn't be laying emphasis on president, to one legislator or whatever he believes in. 1K a month. Who has done that? Nobody has. But you want the right candidate to emerge. How? Have you converted 4 people to follow the person you're supporting? Have you asked yourself those questions? These are questions we do not ask ourselves. Thank you, Rogers. You say you have. Thank you very much. There are very few Nigerians that have. So the truth is, if you haven't, you ask yourself, you are fighting for a change, how? Nigeria will change, how? Okay, FOJ, you too. Okay, thank you. Samuel, you have, and you're still doing that. That's good. So, but if you take across the average Nigerian, it's not much. People are plenty. Worry people. Okay. Worry Boko. Okay. Thank you very much. So, of course, I have to understand that this involves us. Everybody has to make a stake or do something. The train is not going to start working on itself. We all have to turn perfect the parts. Part of us have to be the engine. Some of us have to be this. Some of us have to be that. So everybody's doing everything. Now, the reality is that the highest abuse of power is at the gubernatorial level. Now, nobody wants to discuss this. I bet along your classes, you have found out why this is necessary, or why this part exists, or why this necessarily has been part of the problem. So I leave it to the fact that we have weak House of Assemblies, because if we had strong ones, we wouldn't have such kind of problems. And I think there should be more emphasis on the actions within the State House of Assembly and the kind of candidates you're projecting to run for State House of Assembly. I think this would be necessary to check this. Legislative is key to development. I cannot hammer on this multiple. I've done that so many times, I can't continue. Now, the Constitution is our birthright. I'm sure if anybody in the Electoral College is going to leave this class, they're going to say, if there's anything Kuni Lawal always spoke about, it was the Constitution is your birthright, and you alone can ignite its strength. And that is something. So protest is a tool, not a key. Now, most of the time, we think in Nigeria that it's the protest that delivers the return. No. So you're protesting on the front line, but you must be engaging behind the scenes. That's what changes a parameter. Why do you think Uncle Sowore is not going that far? I'm not saying what he's protesting against is wrong. Now, that's a case of whether wrong or right, dependent on what you want to support or what you want. But how he's going about it, like I think I've said once to someone who's a follower, and I said he needs to remember everything is not up. He's no longer in the SUG, and the truth is, there are targets to how things must be approached. Yes, there's a protest on this front line, but there's things that need to be done. So I'll give an example. So a few of us are really touchy about the kind of conventions that have been held by political parties. And one of the criteria of hosting a convention is that you must submit a soft and a hard copy of the total members of the party. And this letter is already in INEC. I think I've made public also on my social media handle. This letter is basically, and it's us trying to influence the way parties are. So looking at an example, and this is no offense or direct hit against APC. So APC says that they have 41 million members, and their convention was decided by 41 million members. Where are their names? Where are their due payments for the last 3 months? And this is just forcing accountability within the system. If that cannot be proved, since it's one of the criteria for hosting a convention, then they flouted having a convention. PDP the same, so with any other party, ADC, SDP, any other party. And this is just us trying to get the system to act. These laws are already there, but nobody's pushing the system to act. INEC has recognized our letter day before yesterday. I wasn't in Abuja for that meeting, but I heard it went well, and INEC is going to start pushing forward. Of course, after the letter with INEC, if INEC does not act, we'll force INEC to go to court. We'll take INEC to court. We're generally allowing political parties run amok. And that's the truth, because the law of Nigeria states clearly that this should be done. So this is not anything against any party, but this is all trying to, engineer the system, oil the wheels a bit, so that it moves around smoothly, it's moving around a lot. Now, Nigeria is a collective responsibility. I cannot overemphasize this. Nigeria is my responsibility, it's your responsibility. All of us being putting together things here. We're working here within the Electoral College. It's our responsibility, collective responsibility. It's part of the responsibility of citizenry. We have people like Lisa dedicating our time, people like Maureen going out of their way every Saturday to ensure that you guys have a class. People like Lisa is stressed a lot, Maureen is stressed a lot, Adishola, who is here, leaving everything to sit down and do things. Me, I'll say as the ED now, it's very relaxing. Earlier cohorts, I was stressed, but now, big boys, so I'm playing on our level. That's a joke, but generally, it's a collective responsibility. So all of us put in quite a lot of things to get things done. Next slide, please. Democracy is not something that happens, just at election time. It's not something that happens just with one event. It's an ongoing building process, but it ought to be part of our culture, a part of our lives. Jim Hightower. And with this, I conclude the myths and realities of politics. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you very much. And I look forward to questions on this class. I remember we were trying not to prolong classes because, of course, we have our fellow brothers of the Muslim Ummah who are fasting and trying to compress classes as fast as possible. So thank you, everyone. And for the Christians, have a good Friday. Thank you very much. I look forward to the questions ahead. Adeshola, are you there? Okay, it seems I'm left in the class alone.
Okay, no, I was here. I'm here. I was trying to unmute myself. Okay.
Okay, so I think wait, I think I need to do this. I think I stopped people from unmuting themselves.
Yes, but
For me. Yeah, so I'll adjust that setting right now. So so I've adjusted.
Okay. All right. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Edie. You're muted. You muted yourself in the process.
Oh, sorry. So you control the parameters. So
Okay.
I would leave it to you to control the parameters for the class. Thank you very much for having me.
All right. All right. Okay. Thank you, Edie. Okay, so that was a great presentation, very succinct, brief, enlightening also. We'd like to take questions now. I'll take the first three hands I see in a stretch. Wari Boko, I see your hand up. I also see Wilson Olaya and Roger. So we'll take the first three. So Wilson, you can unmute yourself first, then Wariboko will be leaving. You're next, and after that, Rogers. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you very much, Edie. I think that for the majority of Nigerians, this kind of talk might go a very long way in making them aware of what politics is and how they need to be involved, more than probably any other class we've held. Now it's very short. I'm thinking we can build on this. We can do WhatsApp statuses. We can do short jingles, skits that will highlight the things that we've discussed in this class. That's on one hand. On the second hand, I don't know if it's just me, but I wish we would probably downplay the issue of spending money to support politicians. And I'll say why. You've alluded to the issue of the National Assembly trying to bring up things that were not in favor of the fintech industry in the past. And you asked some of your friends how many of them were supporting some of those houses, the National Assembly members. Now, the issue I have with making it seem like if I'm not spending my money to support these people, then I shouldn't be bothered when they take decisions that are not in my favor is that if I spend money supporting them, and just because of that, I dictate the things they do and the decisions they make, not necessarily because those decisions are good, then I don't think it's a good thing. We talked a lot about big pharma. When COVID was so much of a thing, that was an issue. That big pharma was controlling in the US, the lawmakers. Down here, it's more of the telecoms people giving recharge card money and so on and so forth. So maybe we should just play a little bit down on that aspect because it's not, I don't think we should make it an issue of who pays the piper dictating the tune here. My two thoughts. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Wilson. And at this point, I'll need to say something. If you do not seize the opportunity to be the one dictating the tune, somebody else will. It's the way politics is around the world, and it has been like that since man started. There are always voices in the ears there of those that are ruling or those that are in power. And those voices tend to cloud any other reason. The most perfect situation is when you have something like the Obama situation, where you have everybody donating to his campaign and Obama being held liable to the American citizen. So the parameter to explain it properly would be if everybody contributed to putting this person here, it means that the person is totally. Morning,
Are you driving?
Hello, Maureen. So that you're not supposed to be
I'm not a co-host.
able.
The co-host.
So except you are part of it, or you are actually playing at parameter. The problem is, okay, instead of having a few, let's get everybody to come together and try and listen. So I don't think I'll downplay that, because if you don't, then guys, big money will. So there's a way, somebody must be accountable to somebody. That's the way it just works. It's human nature. So it's break levels within human nature and how we think about these things, that this positions. But I hear you, and I hear your positions. Just looking at it on a large scale, it's a whole lot different. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Boko, you can unmute yourself.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, sir. You did a presentation was very straight to the point, and I think for like 2 weeks now I've been sick, so I came today, and I can say that today class was actually heartwarming, because okay, let me go straight to what mine is. Not really a question, though. I wanted to have an opinion about one of the myths you said about PVC. He said about PVC cannot change, cannot replace democracy or something like that. But I think some days ago, I was talking to some of my followers on social media. I have one of the platforms I normally use to actually vent my opinion politically. So I was talking to my followers, and I draw an experience I had in Abuja recently when I visited. And opposite my hotel in Ewuye, it's a ranch where they rear cattle. So I stayed in that hotel for like 4 days. So every morning, these young guys will be carrying this cow to where they will drink water, and they will bring them back. So one of these days, during the APC convention, I was a delegate. So I was going for the convention. I wore the APC material for River State. So this young guy was coming back with a cow, and that guy should be between 19 and 20 years. And the guy told me and said, Oga, say, this is your cloth, if I know. Say, when you wear and finish, they come back, say, pull and give me. And I say, you like the cloth? He say, are you jokingly? Are you a member of APC? He said, no. He said, no, not be a member of APC, but saying get voters cards. And I was shocked. You get voters card and you don't vote before. He said you don't vote before. And so I came back, and I was trying to talk to predominantly people on my followers are from River State, the South. So I was trying to talk to them about the importance of having the PVC. Not just having the PVC, using the PVC to actually cast a vote. Personally, I believe that if the system which we intend to change with our PVC actually, because I understand that having been in the system for some time, I know that if, for example, those who have PVC and they have never gotten to vote before, if those PVCs happen to find themselves in the hand of the major players politically in these political parties, they are still going to use a PVC that you're not be using to vote and cast the vote for whoever they want to deliver. So for me, I am not agreeing totally that it's going to change the whole system. But I'm also going to say that it is encouraging that we talk to our people about the importance of not just having the PVC, but actually going out to go cast our vote. Who knows? I told them that maybe your one vote can be able to maybe bring the right person into the House of Assembly. Maybe can be able to bring the right person into the House of Reps. Maybe might be able to bring the right person to become the governor of your state. So I also believe, sir, that we should talk also, encourage our people to go get the PVC. And then having the PVC is one thing. And then like what the Electoral College is doing, for example, I've learned a lot, me being hooked up in this platform for some time. So I believe more of these platforms to educate our people on political literacy via the fact that you have a PVC is not enough, but using the PVC to actually cast your vote is also more important. So I also want to slightly, try to have an opinion about that particular myth you talked about. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you.
Warikoko, it's so lovely that I tell you people to divorce emotion, and emotion always comes to play back. I never said PVC was not important. What I said is PVC, increasing the number of PVCs that are available will not directly affect the kind of governance we have, and that is true. Number one, it takes a particular level of understanding for you to be able to differentiate between candidate A and candidate B. Candidate B might look so great. And I remember I gave an example during one of your earlier classes. I remember we were talking and I said something and I compared Dino Melaye and Senator Ben Murray Boots, both of the 8th Assembly. And, it was shocking, I think, for some people to find out that apparently Dino Melaye was a better senator than Senator Ben Murray Boots. And it takes a particular level of political education to understand that. And that is the premise to which I'm arguing, which I'm placing the fact that PVCs do not necessarily mean we'll have better governance. Number of PVCs that have been registered. I've always even thought doing what you are doing, being part of a delegate, I've emphasized that people should be in political parties. I've said that in multiple number of times. If you've been in this class, it's a song I sing. Because when you are there as a delegate, you are able to influence matters. True or false? Okay, maybe it's not there. Anyway, so Warikoko makes the decision, and when he picks the presidential candidate, he will now be forced to act on Warikoko's decision, which is something I've always said. So I've never undermined in this class, and I don't want to be mistaken here. I've never undermined, I've just said some things will not deliver the desired results we think that will emanate from them. And this is basically true. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Edie. Rogers, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you, Edie. Thank you for the amazing presentation. Yeah, mine is a question and a kind of request in addition to the myth and the realities you presented. With my little experience, I can see from my Rivers State experience and why I was involved in the election process, governance system to some extent in the first 4 years of the incumbent government. I could see the key role the religious group or stakeholders play in our politics today. So it would be also good, I don't know, in subsequent discourse to see there's this perception that it's God that gives leaders. For me, it's a myth. And perhaps that's why religion and religious leaders are kind of not helping the populace when it comes to political participation and leadership selection. For me, I want to see in this coming election, I want to mention names. I want to see E.A. Adeboye, all the big pastors we have in our country. I want to see them on the screen while casting their vote. Just like the way we show our politicians and some of our big names while casting their vote. I want to see our big pastors, our big imams, our big traditional leaders in the forefront, and journalists capturing them, not just paying attention to when an aspirant or a candidate, when a candidate or a former leader or a former president is casting his or her vote. Perhaps that will also help the church, the religious people, the religious group, those who are so affiliated with the traditional leaders, who believe so much in them, see that indeed there is need to participate actively and that it is our choice that actually bring leaders, not God giving us leaders. So it's part of a myth. There is a myth that it is God that brings leaders. Yes, in line with what you've said, truly, because we do not contribute in the emergence of our candidates, either by donating money based on the ideology they sell and we stand for it. It also in reality today that populace contribution, financial contribution to a candidate emergence is a reality. So I think it's part of the two things I just wanted to call your attention, either to add or perhaps throw more light on. Thank you, and over.
All right, thank you, Roger. Did you want to respond to that?
No, I just think you actually just put forward some things. We must also understand that as regards the parameters of religious leaders, that will totally be left to the press. I don't think there's any restriction on the press to go into what the press has chosen to do, show politicians. And I'd put the X on the fourth estate for that, because there's no, but the truth is that Nigeria, I think generally as a voting electorate or as a citizenry entirely, we have actually totally chosen not to be responsible with how we handle politics. And we're expecting something to instigate something. Really? Your country, you need to stand up. Whether Adeboye is shown or not, you should be standing up and being there and participating. So I don't understand narrative, maybe looking at someone is going to help. Yeah, it might help some people, but I don't think it should be something that even should be sold generally and say, okay, this is the way it should be, so that you're right. Prominent Nigerians should be shown, not only politicians. I agree fully with you on that. But how much of these people are going to actually help us before we realize that we personally are part of the problem? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Ayala Olawale, and after which Jukas, please, will take the stand. Thank you. Olawale, over to you.
Good evening. Thank you, ED, for the wonderful presentation. I really love that. Yeah, what I really want to say is not actually a question, but I'm just like, let me say a request. Can the Electoral College kindly please take this kind of topic? Can we take it to like schools or communities and enlighten people? Because I don't think we on this platform are the only people that should benefit this, because this particular topic that the EG treated today, I think everybody should know this. That's just what I want to say.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Wale. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure the college will look into it. Jukas, please.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Edie, for always keeping it short, insightful, and classy. Okay, my question is, before my question, right, having joined the Electoral College, I've been able to gain a lot as in politically literate, and then using this knowledge gotten from Electoral College, I've come to understand that from one of the myths of politics, the CSOs and social media ideas, I've come to understand that some of the CSOs are actually not politically literate based on what they put out there and share, right? So now, how can these people, with the understanding I have of, and with the understanding I've gotten from Electoral College, of politics from Electoral College, how can these CSOs be held accountable? How can we hold them accountable by what they say? When they put out something that is politically not correct, how can one hold them accountable? That's my first question. I have another question, but after this, I think if you will take this first.
Please, you want to put me inside trouble, right? So, let me explain clearly. There's what you call a constant debate that goes on within, multiple CSOs. And I think what the Electoral College has tried to do is, be the clear rubric or the standard line, and then try to put out what it exactly is putting out clearly, and then define this. The truth is that if we start this, we must remember something clearly. Those against Nigerians understanding democracy are more than those of us that are trying to get things done. So we must appreciate everyone's efforts. So what we can do is hope people will learn from our own transmission of events and how we handle things. For me, I don't think till any political debate has really made sense. And there are reasons why, but the people that chastise themselves for doing debates and bringing out this thing, you do a debate and it's a legislative debate and you're asking the person about executive function. For me, that's half of the problem. You don't ask them what exactly we're supposed to do. So anyway, the Electoral College will continue trying to be a shining light. So Ailara Olawale's earlier comment, it costs money to do a lot of things. I don't want to tell you the budget for this year's class. And they were supposed to be 800 people. How many people are in class right now? 46. You see the Nigerian problem. We will keep trying. We'll keep doing what we can financially do. So please let me have a second question. I'll take that one.
Okay, my second question is, I think based on the realities of politics, that's strategy winning elections. Like, what would you advise, or a young person who belongs to a political party, has been in the party, and then the person wants to run for an office, as of course, an aspirant who wants to run for an office. Like, what is one strategy? I don't know if you can share, like, maybe let's have an idea of a good strategy that can win an election. I don't know if the question is right, but that's best I can put.
Is are you paying me for consultancy? So a good strategy. For one, I'll tell you something. In politics, one of the first things is never project what is already there. So, like you said, a young person aspiring for office. Why do you need to tell people you are young? They can see it. You should play on other parameters. I'll give you an example. I think I've given a clear example that when I was running for office, I was able to propose 49 bills in one campaign year, which is quite a lot for an African. And I stated that why I was doing that was because I knew I didn't have money, or I didn't have the kind of money I was supposed to have. Let's put that. And I knew I didn't have the kind of influence I was supposed to have. So I played on what nobody else had. And that was what I was using to sell myself. I believe this should answer your question. I've answered it with two parameters. Number one, never ever tell someone, never ever sell yourself with something, hey, I'm young, or hey, I'm a woman. We can see that. We're not blind. Why don't you sell solutions to problems? Then when you are selling those solutions, you'll be like, those solutions are coming from Peace. They're very brilliant. And Peace is young, and Peace is a woman. They will say it themselves because they can see. So never sell something that, never sell or never sell a candidate based on what you can see. It doesn't work. It's young, so what? You come into the game, you are no more young. Play the game as it's supposed to be. So I hope this helps, and I hope somebody got it and helped with that. Thank you.
That's great. That was great. Thank you. Thank you. The last question will be taken by Divine Tuluanimi. Please unmute yourself.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you, moderator. And thank you, the Electoral College. I really appreciate this. Actually, mine is not like a question per se. Since the cohort 7 started lectures, I've been trying to decipher, whatever it is that would come out of this, college and everything. And so far, so good. I tend to be looking at the ED for this kind of idea and initiative. Very beautiful idea, great initiative. If this can actually be pushed, like somebody already said earlier, to the tertiary institutions, even primary schools and secondary schools, believe me, we would all eventually be politically aware by the time we get to the voting age, which is a very laudable thing to do. So I just want to use this opportunity. I'm sorry I had to make it look like I wanted to ask something. I was looking for a channel to actually just say this. Thank you so much. Egbonkunle, sorry, I'm going to be using street language right now. Thank you so much, Egbonkunle, for this laudable ideas. Believe me, I guess your personality shows more in everything you're doing, even through the electoral college. Now, even most of us that don't know you, but knowing that you're the one spearheading this is already showing us something about you, your personality. And thank you to all the other members of the electoral college who are committed. And I hope after this whole lecture, some of us will probably join the team and had our own little value. Like you said, Nigeria is all about all of us, and change is not just one person, it's everybody's input. And so I don't know, I just want to say thank you. Thank you on behalf of the cohort 7 members class. Thank you so much. We really, we may not be able to say it the way I'm saying it, but I'm just going to have to say it this way. See, everybody's even already saying thank you, ED. We really appreciate this. We can't say it enough. Believe me, maybe after today that I actually get to see you again, I'm probably going to be seeing you like, yeah, this man, I've experienced him, a quality man, a quality guy and stuff like that. Thank you. I don't know what else to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I feel like there's so many more hands up.
Right now, I just need to answer one. I'm trying to put my head down.
Okay, so we have like how many more hands? I have Jason, Samuel, Nafi. Please, if you guys are also going to say thank you, let's just put it in the chat box.
Who said it's Edie?
Sorry, mine is a special thank you. Sorry, Edie.
Please, class hasn't ended. You are still.
We're not saying thank you yet.
No, really. Mine is really very, very important. I'm sorry. Please give me this chance.
Okay, sir.
Edie, sir. A few weeks ago, when I joined this program, I was playing politics on the periphery. But when I saw the content I was receiving during the lectures and everything, I was motivated to be an active player. And jokingly, I picked a form for zonal youth leader of the APC. And to the glory of God, I got elected. And today I'm a member of the National Executive Committee of the APC, which I owe a lot to your encouragement. And I hope many more youths will be motivated like you motivated me to join politics. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, amazing, Jason.
Thank you very much, Jason.
That was good. Congrats. That's inspiring.
I hope you do a lot more. I hope you do a lot more. I hope you also, you carry the traditions of this class and then carry it into, because that's our dream, to be able to train people, to be able to effect change. I'm very proud of you, Jason. I'm very, very proud of you. I look forward, to doing things. I'm always there for the cohorts. Your group will not be disbanded, so you can always reach out to me, and I'll always be there to help. I try not to leave my the family. Let's put it at that. I try not to leave the family, and I try to be part of it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Really touched. I'm really proud of you. From your name, I'm guessing what state?
Adamawa State, sir.
Adamawa. Okay. Yes, Adamawa.
Sir.
Nice one. So I'm very proud. Anytime I'm in Yola, of course, inform you and we get to see them.
Don't book a hotel, sir. I have a house in Yola. Don't book a hotel.
Okay. As long as wait, there's just one. I'm just going to ask for one singular thing. In Canada, oh, sorry, I'm speaking outside. Let's go back to English. Let me act like I can't speak outside. So if you have too much I don't just.
I also have Kindrumu. I have Kindrumu, sir.
Let's talk with you before they say it has come to gangster. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. I'm very proud of you.
You're most welcome, sir. Thank you.
All right, so we're just taking the last 2 questions and that we'll be done with that. Samuel, and then a few.
Okay, I'm online already. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you once again. What I wanted to say is that just an emphasis. I want to make an emphasis on what the other 2 previous speakers have said, that we want to expand the scope of this project. Let us take it. Let us take it as a project, like 1 to 10. So if we can go to secondary schools, if we get a kind of affiliation with the electoral college, like just a replication of what Hamzat is doing with Polo Dimoni. If we can take it to every state, that there are some representatives or fellows of this college who are assigned a tax and are expected to report back to the National Secretariat what they have achieved, the programs they want to embark on, enlightening students where we want to catch them young, to enlighten their minds, to prepare them for what is ahead of them, so that by the end, by the time they reach 18 years, to join politics or to start even having voters registered, at least they know what to do, they know what they are expected to do, as in a kind of social responsibility on them of their country, how you are expected to serve their country politically. I think this is what we want to embark on. Let the also the politicians in our localities know that when I'm talking, it is not Nafiu Gulumbi that is talking, rather it is the Kulle Lawal or his entire team, national team, that is talking. So I have a strong voice. They know I have backup. So whenever I'm talking, they will take me serious. They will not assume that I'm just ordinary Nafiu Gulumbi that is talking to them. Something like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nafiu. But at this point, I'd like to say I'm just an average Nigerian and nobody, I'm nothing. But I'd like to say, I'd like to let the 7th cohort know this. The Electoral College, sometime within its work, has developed, a handbook for people in secondary schools and universities. We've not published it yet. To take a lot of money to do that, because we wanted to give these books out free, but we've completed the work on it. It was done by the electoral team. I just supervised and, excerpts from the class and whatever, just made, and it's a very short book with diagrams and stuff. It's quite interesting. And it was set up for secondary school and university people to go through. So the Electoral College is taking steps, of course, to expand what we're doing and expand the kind of processes. And it's great to hear from the 7th cohort. Yeah, you're ready to go out as people and, convert others and then let people know what's going on. That, I will tell you, that probably is the biggest dream the college ever had when it was being set up. And we're very, 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 very proud that you guys are even the ones bringing this to us, not us telling this to you. So thank you very much, everyone. And Samuel can go ahead with his question. Thank you.
Okay, Samuel, go ahead. Final question. Samuel Uneko, Elias, we can't hear you if you're speaking.
Hello?
We can hear you now.
Okay, I really want to appreciate the ED for his time and the presentation this evening. I don't really know why all of us are already pushing in the same area, in the same line this evening, because I wanted to suggest that we should be able to have a step down of what we have learned so far, and in our various locations, our various states and area and community. And I really want to also suggest that if this workshop or conference can also be organized physical, I think it will also go a very long way. Although some of us are able to be connected on social media, but we have this information at our hand. But there are people at the grassroots that really need this information, that really need this training. So I want to suggest if the Electoral College can also come up with a blueprint on how to make this seminar or workshop goes down to the grassroots, which really need this training. And I think we as a student so far can also be as the agent, can also be used in our various locality, in our various community to pass this information. I think this is what I want to really suggest, that we should also have what we call step down for every course that we are having. There should be a step down, so that at least that will be able to look like a follow-up to what we have learned. And we can also take it to our grassroots, which they really need this information. because some of us are privileged to be on the social media, why they are not really privileged to be on the social media. Thank you very much once more for ED for the training so far. I think I'm happy to be under your feet and learning different strategies since we started this course. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Samuel.
Thank you very much, Samuel. I think at this point, I must say yes. The dream of the college is to have the students, of course, go like agents. Kuni Lawal cannot be split into 36 states and 774 local governments. It will not be possible. But our dream is somewhere along the line, somebody would understand, maybe join the team of the electoral college and maybe try to transmit what we have in a small locality. And if he does that within his locality, we feel we have succeeded and we've attended and we've approached the point. I think with what you've said today, I'll be sitting down with the team. And I think apart from creating the working arm, which is known as the region, which we, of course, taking our best students, I think we'll create a Nigerian, what they call it, a probably associate room where everybody that wants to do something physical or volunteer, just a set of volunteers. I think I'll institute that on Telegram. Anybody that wants to do that, even if I have to appear on Zoom for 20 minutes, trust me, I'll try to do that. Like I said to most people, since I turned 40, I've dedicated my life to Nigeria. I've gained a lot from this country and I want to give it back. And I will try to be there for everyone. And I love the kind of situations you guys are proposing. I didn't expect this kind of questions. I would try and catch Tolu after this, Divine after this class, because he's the one that spearheaded this, but we are kind of impressed with the way this class has come. And I must say, I'm very, very proud of the 7th cohort. This has not happened in any other cohort. Yes, we've had people talk about it individually, but you know, a cohort that wants to stand and make a difference. I think we're doing a whole lot of work. And I'm very proud of this cohort. If I've never said that, I'm very, very proud of this cohort. I think we're going somewhere. And I pray that we don't lose the fire that we've always had. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for everybody's contributions. Thanks for staying here. Adishola, over to you to complete the class. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Edie. Thank you. Indeed, greatly motivational and inspiring. A big thank you to the 7th cohort. Please, let's keep ourselves engaged on the Telegram group. For I see as many people that are ready to be state representatives and volunteers for the projects that everyone is talking about, and the bigger levels that the college will be seeking to build, even with everyone on this call. So please, let's keep the engagement and conversations going and let the fire not die. We'd like to say a very big thank you to everyone for coming, and special thanks to our facilitator, the Executive Director of the Electoral College, Kuni Lawal. Thank you so much for always.
Adishola,
Yes?
I need to say this. So we're not sure yet, but there might be a class on Monday, just so that on Friday, and I don't know whether Lisa, where is Lisa? Are you there? Okay,
yes, I am, Edie. Good evening.
You haven't told your students that probably there's going to be a class on Monday, and you've not
No,
told
no, not yet.
Friday. You're supposed to tell them. Then on Friday, let me hand it over to the owner of the class. Then on Friday, and then they have a graduation on Saturday. You haven't told them that too. So to your mommy of the class, Mommy Gio.
Okay, Mommy Gio. Over to you, Lisa.
All right. So there'll be a break on Sunday because of the Easter celebration. So we were supposed to have Edie's class on Sunday, but it will be shifted to Monday, if it's fine by everyone. So we could just round off the class on Monday. But we also have a special class next week, Friday. That will be the last class. And trust me, everyone will be happy with who the facilitator is. It's a surprise, but you get to find out next week, Friday. And then your graduation comes up on Saturday. It's going to be online, virtual. Hopefully, maybe for other cohorts, we could do both physical and online. But this is the first of its kind. This is the first cohort that will actually be having a graduation ceremony. So yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing. So we'll communicate more details to you, as they unfold. It'll be on Saturday by 4 p.m. We'll be giving certificates for those who qualify, special awards and all that. It's going to be an interesting time. So yeah, thank you all. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for believing in Nigeria, because if you didn't, you would not be here in the first place. So yeah, thank you all. Edie.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Edie.
Thank you. I think I saw a hand by Tiango just now. I'm not sure whether she raised her hand. I noticed her hand went up. Tiango, are you there?
Error. She said it was an error.
Oh, sorry, it was an error. Okay, at least I caught it.
Okay.
So Adishola, thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, everyone. It feels like we should not leave, but I guess we have to leave. Angelina, we are closing. I see that your hand is up. Do you have a question?
Please, I just want to appreciate the ED, because I've really learned a lot from this class. As a person with disability, thinking I want to go into politics on how to do, on who will be my mentor. But this class, I've learned a lot. They gave me what I wanted. ED, God bless you, sir.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Angelina, I think you're living with disability. Wow. You could contact me directly.
Okay, sir.
You can contact me directly. I'll link you up with Louis at Alta. She's doing some amazing work, and I'm always there. And I want to give you my personal contact so that we could always interact. I'm always there. I'll be more than glad to be part of that. Thanks also for mentioning, and I'll be very, very proud part of
Thank you so much, Edith. I appreciate that. God bless you, sir.
Please,
All right, sir.
Thank you. Just send a message on the Telegram group. I'll chat to you personally. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hey,
before we finish, since you're all part of the 7th cohort, some of you become associates, or most of you here will become associates. I need to let you guys know of an existing fine between the Electoral College. So if you call me sir, you're fined 1K. Nobody calls me sir. Thank you very much. Adishola, over to you.
Okay. Senator, sir.
Okay. I want to say something quickly. I don't know if Angela is aware of this, but it will be something that I would love to see her take advantage of. Most political parties have roles reserved for people living with disability in the party. So if she's not a member of any political party yet, I would suggest strongly that she join one. And then with the knowledge she has acquired, she will be able to rise pretty quickly from the ward level on, because they always look for people that would, I think it's a policy of inclusion. So they always look for people that would represent those living with disability. And most of the time when they don't get, they just find any random person to fill the position. So Angela, you may, if you are not aware of this, you may want to take note. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator, for that information.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Please, I'll leave my contact, please, with you.
Okay, you can also put it on the chat box and the Telegram group. Okay, on this note, I'd like to say bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. Though we hate to see you go, but we have to go. So thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you then.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Goodbye.
Happy start from this end.
Good night, everyone. Thank you very much.
In the future.
Okay, too good, really.